DoorDash is testing warnings about bad service if you don't tip your driver. According to CNN, if you try to place an order through the DoorDash app without leaving a tip, you may get this pop up if you're part of a new pilot, which tells you, quote, orders with no tip might take longer to get delivered. Are you sure you want to continue?
So
End quote.
crazy.
The note then goes on to say, quote, Dashers can pick and choose which orders they want to do. Orders that take longer to be accepted by Dashers tend to result in slower delivery. And
this is real. Chris, this is crazy.
I know. I feel like, yeah, man, is this a concept worth testing? I'm like so baffled reading this. I still can't believe it.
Yeah, you're still on 11 from the last headline. Is it a concept
I know.
Is it a concept worth testing? No, I kind of hinted to this in one of the previous stories. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Not every test is a good test, which is why I hate when people say, and they do this all the time, well, it's just a test. No, by that rationale, everything gets greenlit, and that should never be the case. And so it drives me nuts when people say that, because tests still take resources. They still impact your brand. And with that said, the former merchant in me hates. I think that's 4 hates, Ann.
Yes.
Any marketing tactics to give my customer a reason not to buy something. That's like 101 in merchandising. So inherently, it's always a bad move. And that is what you have here, plain and simple. Sure, it's going to push some people to tip, but some people are also just going to walk when they see that pop up, and they're going to go somewhere else, or also just start choosing a different delivery service down the road that doesn't make them feel that way. So I think this is a terrible thing to test, and potentially hints at some other bigger issues at play here.
Totally. I, as a DoorDash customer who regularly tips,
You are a big DoorDash fan.
Yes, I was shocked to hear this, and I totally agree. I mean, I think people are going to start leaving the platform over this, because how much tip is enough? Like, just that warning in that thing, like right now, like, here, make sure you give a bigger tip. Like, what's the really threshold? Like, how do you know where there's nothing for me as a consumer that's really going to tell me like that's enough and my order is going to get prioritized over another one? And the second point is that tip really going to make the difference in what's able to retain a DoorDash driver? Like, I question how this came up in the first place. Were the drivers asking for this update? Was this DoorDash trying to like figure out a way to compensate drivers to keep them on the platform so that, or like by giving them the ability to choose? Like, I think that this is really up to DoorDash to improve here. And I think that it goes back to what we were talking about a couple of weeks ago with Shipt offering benefits to their drivers. Like, I think that this is up to DoorDash to make sure that their drivers are incentivized in the right way, that they're being compensated in the right way. I think it's a bad move on DoorDash's part to put this in the hands of the consumer, because I think a lot of people are going to just walk off the platform.
Yeah. Now, the interesting point I would say too, some couple caveats here too. I want to make sure that the audience hears this too. The story comes from CNN, which historically has a reputation of trying to create really salacious retail headlines. So whenever you read a CNN headline, audience, please be aware of that. And with that said, also, we've had the chance to interview DoorDash executives quite a few times. I think we both interviewed their CRO on stage at Shop Talk. Very smart people, have nothing but respect for them. So my hunch is they're thinking about this they're very conscious of this test, most likely, and trying to figure out what the best step forward is for them as well, given how they've talked to us in the past about these types of things. But yes, I think you're right.
And correct us. Come back. Tell me what we missed about this. Tell me how you're thinking about it. As for DoorDash, as with any story that we ever cover on this show, I think if you have a point or something that we've missed on this, please come and tell us. On its surface, though, Chris, I don't get it.
Yeah, it's a test I wouldn't have let go through the gates. Yeah, 100%.